Hey guys, this is Kelly from Half a Word, and today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up and July TBR. I had a really great June in terms of reading. I read a total of, how many books did I read in total? 5 books, and I am really happy to say that I enjoyed all 5 of them. The first book that I read in June was The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I thought it was a super cool book. I actually have a review up on my channel for it, so I will link that in the description. Along with a GOODREADS review, which will also be in the description. So if you want to hear more about how I felt about this book, go ahead and check those 2 links out. The second book that I read this June was Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, which was incredible. I finished it in like a day, I'm pretty sure. It was a little embarrassing. I did have some issues with the romance because I felt like it was a little too insta-lovey, but I can definitely appreciate the plot and the world building. I think Laini Taylor is one of the most creative authors I've ever read in the fantasy genre. It was just such an original book, and I'm really excited to get started on the second book. The third book that I completed this June was So Much I Want to Tell You, Letters to My Little Sister by Anna Akana. I actually listened to this one in audiobook format, and I really enjoyed it. I made a video kind of just talking about my experience because this was actually the first audiobook that I'd ever read. Listen to. Link to that will also be in the description. I loved this book. I thought it offered some incredibly relevant insights and words of wisdom to young girls, especially young Asian girls. The author Anna Akana is an Asian American actress, director, YouTuber, media kind of personality, and I thought she had some really great things to say. And as an Asian American female myself, I really agreed with a lot of the things that she said. The fourth book that I finished in June, and I'm super proud of this one, is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I mentioned a couple videos back that I have been trying to read this book for pretty much like almost a year now, and for some reason I just never got around to it, but I finally sat down and I finally got myself to read it, and it was amazing, just like I knew it was gonna be. This is the second book that I've read by Brandon Sanderson, the first being Warbreaker. His magic systems, his world building, his characters, like everything is just so well written and so well put together. And I'm so happy that I finally finished it, because like I knew I was missing out. I knew I was missing out. I have a GOODREADS review for that as well, link in the blah 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 blah. The fifth and final book that I finished in June was Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, which I also really enjoyed. I was kind of hesitant going into this one because I'd heard different things about it, commenting on the romance, the plot, and I was really pleasantly surprised to find that I really enjoyed it. So those were the 5 books that I finished in June, and I am planning on reading 7 more books this July. I don't actually know if I can read 7 books, but my goal is to at least finish like 5 out of the 7 that I have planned on my TBR. The first book on my TBR for July is Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I'm actually listening to this one on Audible because it was recommended by a lot of you guys, and it is blowing my mind right now. I'm a little obsessed with Ezra, even though he kind of makes me look like a crazy person, because when I'm running and I'm listening to this book and like he's talking, I laugh out loud, and people on the streets like give me weird looks, but it's okay. The second book on my TBR is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I'm actually in the middle of reading this one right now, and I love it a lot. It's super funny, it's super cute, and it's really well written. The third book that I plan on reading is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It is part of my required summer reading, but I've been meaning to pick up this book for a long time, so this is kind of like a perfect opportunity. Next up, I plan on reading The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I pre-ordered it a while back. I've heard lots of great things about it. Following that is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. I pre-ordered that with Gentleman's Guide. I'm really anxious to get my hands on those books and get started because those are 2 of my most anticipated reads of the summer. Next on my list is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. It's the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series, followed by Linger by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the second book in the Shiver trilogy. And finally, last but not least, I would really like to read The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, which is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy. But I'm looking at my TBR list right now, and I don't think that might not happen. That is pretty much all I wanted to say today. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow me on GOODREADS at Half a Word and Twitter at halfawordbooks. Whew, it has gotten very dark in here. read good books. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.